Back to the show. So Chris Cuomo, host of Cuomo Weeknights at 8 p.m. on our sister cable network, News Nation, delivers the biggest stories of the day from all perspectives. And there's no bigger night than Wednesdays to bring in those unique conversations and big name guests. So Chris joins us live from New York. Hi, Chris.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. Good to see you. All right, well, let's get started. The government shutdown feels like Groundhog Day, you know, as we've now we're into a week here. We've been talking about our airports, which thankfully haven't seen much of an issue at the Cleveland airport. I know that the Hollywood Burbank airport, 12 cancellations, 56 delays, right? So there's things going on. What needs to happen to get the lights back on?
The shutdown has to stop working better for both sides than doing their job. That's what this is about. They are raising more money off the shutdown than they were before it. And of course, Christy, Congress gets paid, right? They're not part of discretionary spending. They're mandatory spending under the Constitution, so they're getting their salaries. And the pain will get worse. You will have more anecdotal evidence of the impact of the shutdown. And it is the division. The division is the fuel for both sides right now. And I thought this shutdown wasn't going to happen because I thought they didn't want the negative energy. I thought they couldn't take any more of it. I was wrong.
Yeah, it's getting rough. Also, the deployment of National Guard troops to multiple U.S. cities now facing challenges in the courts. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker asking Americans to speak up to stop the madness. Obviously, we all know the situation, what's going on in the cities. Talk about that. Do we expect this rollout to continue despite new lawsuits?
Yes, litigation is the way to do it. I think it is a bad look. I get why Pritzker is trying to impress Democrats by fighting back against ICE. I think it is weak legal ground, and I think it's dangerous. However, just like everything else, he is the lesser of the two evils right now. A president feeling comfortable using the military to practice their political policies is anathema to everything about our democracy. Now, in the courts, the president will get some wins on this. Why? Because the jurisprudence isn't set up for a president who's making bad decisions on purpose. A president has the right to be wrong. And what that means is it's his call whether or not there is a situation that warrants the need of protection of federal assets with the National Guard. That's his call. What if it's a bad call? What if he's wrong? What if it's obvious that you don't need to do this? I think some courts will say that's his call. Change the law if you want it not to be his call that way. So I think we're going to see more of it. I think the president thinks it's working for him. And I think it is a big problem because if he decides to use it when he doesn't like what you say on your show and that the show needs to be shut down, I know that sounds absurd right now, but this would have sounded absurd if I suggested it to you a year ago.
Right. So do you see that there's not a need for it in these cities?
I don't think the National Guard is how you control crime.
Okay.
I don't think that we see ICE being under siege in cities in ways that the locals can't handle it. Now, are the locals handling it the way they should? No. And that's a problem also. You know, two things can be wrong at the same time.
Right. Let's talk about, it's now been 2 years since the attack against Israel and Hamas. You're going to talk about this tonight in your show, kickstarting the war in Gaza. What is President Trump doing to push for peace?
Talk about the inability to hold two thoughts in your head at the same time, two things being wrong at the same time. Look, I think it's ambitious for America to try to make peace in the Middle East. I said that during the Biden administration. I said it now. I was surprised Trump went as heavy on this as he did when his whole America First thing was to get out of these situations, right? The problem with the Middle East situation is that it's already complex. It's already very difficult to have any real movement on it. And now it's another football for our politics.
Right. Town Hall, this is coming up October 15th, but I want you to talk about, we got Bill O'Reilly, Stephen A. Smith, and you. That's always a good show to watch. Unfiltered conversations. So what can we look forward to in a week?
Stubborn insistence that it doesn't have to be the way it is. Right. O'Reilly will justify how everything the president's doing is because the Democrats want to destroy him. Stephen A. will be curious. And I'm going to insist we can do better than this.
Okay. We look forward to it. Hey, okay, so let's have some fun now. What do you think of Taylor Swift's new album?
Why? You love coming at me about her. Hey, look, she's proof of my premise, by the way. Okay, how did she become political? Why, if you are on one side, do you have feelings about her that the other side doesn't have? Now, this is how crazy. This is how crazy we have gotten. I'm waiting for Girl Scout cookies to become the new dividing line. He's a
love Girl
Samoa
Scout
guy.
cookies.
He's a Samoa guy. You can't trust him. He's a Samoa guy.
That is actually my favorite.
I think she is great and has a Madonna-esque quality of knowing where the zeitgeist is in a moment and how to exploit it. She doesn't do it through the tawdry sexuality that Madonna used,
Right.
but that was a different time in terms of what was provocative. I think her ability to figure out what's selling and connect with it is really special. And I say that because I got a kid who's a songwriter.
That's right.
And I see how tricky it is.
Yeah. Okay, then I won't end on that since you don't like that. Joe Flacco got traded.
You know, it's like, bravo to Flacco. You know, to be
Bravo
his
to
age and
Flacco.
stage and still be getting jobs, I mean,
In the
pretty
NFL?
impressive.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive. But, you know, Cleveland, I don't know why you thought he was going to be the answer. I got to be honest. And you are making yourself trouble with Shedeur Sanders. The way he's being handled in the media, this doesn't end well.
Okay, that's interesting. All right, we're going to talk about that maybe next week. Thank you, Chris.